I'm just wondering your thoughts on this most recent revelation. They have at least one, and it might be several, body cameras that were being worn by federal agents. Will they matter in this case? Because they did not seem to matter in the last one.
Oh, I think they most certainly will matter. And the difference in the Renee Good case from this one is the videos are even more stark about what occurred here.
And to be clear, Robert, that was cell phone video in that first case. This is actual body cameras they were apparently wearing, right?
Well, body cameras from the officers, but you've got the cell phone
Yes.
videos of other people around. And,
Right.
You can't, if you're Kristi Noem, I mean, if I was her lawyer, I'd say, look, you can't lie your way out of this one. You have the videos. And I've thought a long time, like, what is a better thing for protecting rights? Is it our Constitution and Bill of Rights, or is it our cell phones? It might be our cell phones under this particular regime.
Wow.
Because if you see what happened there, it is just shocking. It was an execution of an American citizen who was standing there. There was no reason to go beyond that. I'll also add another point. When Secretary Noem states that there's no reason to bring a firearm to a protest, well, what did they say during Kyle Rittenhouse when that young man went fully armed and killed 2 Black Lives Matter protesters? They weren't saying the same thing about that. They said we have a Second Amendment right to bear arms. This man did not brandish it, he did not pull it, and he did not deserve to be killed by an ICE agent.
Execution is the word that you chose there. Would that suggest, if proven, that officer be charged with murder? Because J.D. Vance says ICE agents have absolute immunity.
J.D. Vance is wrong. And I think he supposedly had law training. He should know better. No, federal agents, including ICE agents, have a qualified immunity for the conduct of their federal duties and while they're doing their federal duties. That does not give them immunity from a homicide charge. And I will tell you, there is no statute of limitation for a homicide charge. So you don't have the right to then violate the Constitution, barge into people's homes, and do what ICE agents are doing. And realize this was preceded by several assaults against women who were being pushed down by the ICE officers. So really, that is just simply wrong. You cannot say that committing the killing of a protester is within your official duties. But if you say that, then I think we're all lost.
Interesting language from Mr. Bovino as well, who talked about the law enforcement, in fact, as victims here. Good job for our law enforcement in taking him down before he was able to do that, referring to the massacre of law enforcement that was being alleged. Bovino said Preddy injected himself into an active law enforcement scene. Robert, that's what we've been hearing from a number of members of the administration, that by way of blocking the officers' work, the protesters are voluntarily putting themselves in danger. How would you react to that?
Well, everybody has a right to protest. What this man was doing is he had his camera up and he was videoing what the agents are doing,
right.
And you have a perfect right to do that. Also, the person who unholstered this man's gun was another ICE agent. He never pulled his gun.
Mm-hmm.
He may have had it strapped to him, but he never pulled the gun. It was an ICE agent who did it just before another ICE agent, and it looks like shot him in the back of the head. So, you can't lie your way when you have video evidence. And I think that's what this case really comes down to. And look, this is just absurd. I need to say one thing. ICE agents are enforcing immigration law. For the majority, immigration law is a civil violation. You know what else is a civil violation? A traffic ticket. So now you have people in full military regalia enforcing civil violations. It's performative, it's a big show, and it's dangerous. And frankly, they're not even deporting as many people as the Biden administration and the Obama administration did. So they're incompetent at the very job they're saying they're doing.
I want to clarify this Second Amendment issue while you're with us, Robert, and this has been very helpful for us to clear some things up. We heard a lot about the Second Amendment over the weekend. To your point, it appears in the video that he was disarmed by one of the agents. So it was legal for him to be carrying this as a licensed gun owner with a carry permit here. But the fact that these were federal officers, does the presence of ICE at any level supersede the Second Amendment in the way that he acted yesterday in carrying, or Saturday, carrying that weapon?
Absolutely not. The Second Amendment applies. Well, when the Second Amendment was first written, it applied directly to the federal government and not the state governments. We have since expanded our understanding of the Bill of Rights, so it applies to state government as well. But being a federal agent doesn't mean you have the right to violate people's constitutional rights, and it doesn't mean that you can violate the right to bear arms. Now, if you want to say that there should be greater gun regulation, well, then that's a different discussion. But then I think you're going to have to call upon the National Rifle Association to come in and say, oh, okay, we're going to allow for more gun regulation to prevent this from happening. And they seem pretty quiet right now in this situation.